Run it, baby. Ricky Cheese, baby!
Hey guys, it's your boy Ricky Cheese with another episode of Grinding for Greatness. On today's show, we have Grant Leeth, head coach at Tarleton State University, the first Division I wrestling program in the state of Texas. Grant and I discuss the challenges of being the first head coach, building a Division I program from scratch, and the culture Grant will bring to TSU. I'll ask Coach Leeth about the recruiting process, their brand new $1.5 million wrestling room, and the shoe he designed specifically for comfort and recovery from past injuries. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember, keep grinding for greatness. Grant, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm really happy you were here. What's going on tonight, man?
Oh, appreciate it. Not a ton, just preparing for our unveiling and grand opening of our wrestling room. Been teasing it on social media a little bit. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but just came back from a really cool whiskey tour.
Nice.
And barrel selection for one of our fundraisers. I brought a bottle so I could show you.
Check it out. Let's see it.
It's Tarleton State New Riff Distillery Bourbon.
That's sick.
It's
very nice.
Barrel proof, single barrel that I went out and selected. Just another creative fundraiser. Want to get a gift to our big time donors, but B, just something different that I hadn't really seen before. I want to have fun with this and be creative and
man,
to raise money. So
that's very unique. So let me kind of take it back real quick because we have so much to talk about with Tarleton State. I did a little research. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in high school, you were a 3-time Missouri State champion, 2012, 2013, 2014.
Yep.
Awesome. Congratulations on 3 state titles. What happened to that 4th, man?
My freshman year, I bumped up a weight class chasing Cody Brewer.
Yeah. Oklahoma?
He was a senior going for his 4th state title. And I was a freshman going for my 4th state title.
Wow.
I went his weight specifically to try to knock him off and make it just because. Did not happen.
Was it a decent match or not really? No.
7-3, I think.
Respectable. I mean, I'm sure you would have liked it a little closer. I'm sure you would have liked to win, but it doesn't always happen. But 3 state titles, that's awesome. Now, out of high school, I don't think you went straight to Mizzou, did you?
Mm-mm.
So where'd you go?
I started my career at Duke University.
Okay.
At the time, the assistant coach there, Will Rowe, he was a 4-time blood rounder in Division I for Oklahoma University. So never got it done, but had such a passion for the sport, loved wrestling, was very big Christian family guy, and I just connected with him so well. Duke had never had a national champ at that point.
Okay.
And that was my draw. Plus, it's a extremely well-respected academically.
Oh, yeah.
Top-ranked school.
Yep.
Guys on the team were great. I came in with the Fine Silver Twins, the first set of Fine Silver Twins, Mitch and Zach, but was hurt, had some stuff go on in my family, and decided it'd be best to come back home. So transferred to Mizzou the very next year.
Understandable. So, you mentioned the Fine Silvers, you mentioned Cody Brewer, and that kind of made me remember. I'm not sure if you know who this is, but my son Bryce, his best friend, they grew up together. They're like brothers. They're actually roommates. They live together right now, is Zach Sherman from University of North Carolina. Do you know Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Zach actually wrestled Cody Brewer in the blood round and beat him, and that's when Zach got his first All-American. I think he placed 7th at 141. And that was the year that he won the ACC. He beat Tariq Wilson. I think that's his last name, right? Wilson from NC State?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he beat Tariq for the ACC title, and then he went to the NCAAs, and he beat Cody Brewer in the blood round, and he wound up taking 7th. Yep. Wow. Then Zach is Jewish. The Fine Silvers are Jewish. They all made the Maccabiah team. They all went to Israel. They all won gold medals, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So a lot of the same people that you know were connected with Zach was too. So that's what brought that to mind.
That's awesome.
So Yeah, it is. And Zach's a good dude, man. He's actually maybe taking over a really good program in Florida. Right now he's helping Dante coach. Dante's a head coach at Coral Shores High School where he graduated down in the Florida Keys.
Yep.
And Zach is Dante's assistant, but they're offering Zach a head coaching job at Palmetto Ridge High School, which is a much bigger school. They were state champs at one time. I don't know if he's going to take it yet, but they definitely want him. And
Yeah.
I would want him too if I was a high school. So you go to Duke, you come back, family issues. What makes you decide on Missouri?
It was home, first of all. And honestly, my sophomore, junior summer, I spent a week at Mizzou training with the college guys, wrestling around in that room. And I'll be honest, I had this gut feeling that, man, it felt right. Like that felt like where I should be. I let a little bit of the academic piece chase me to Duke. And then just knowing Coach Smith, the way he operates a program, the brand he created with Tiger Style, what he stands for, what the program stood for. Honestly, there was no other choice. When I knew I was transferring, Mizzou was the only thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, good. Definitely a good choice. So I know you were riddled with some injuries. I used to see you wrestle with the neck brace. Tell me a little bit about that. What happened? What kind of injury was that and why the neck brace?
So freshman year, I had knee surgery. So I took a red shirt, transferred to Mizzou. Couple months into training, I ruptured one of the discs in my cervical spine. It was my C5, C6 disc. And with that, it started pinching my spinal column and my neck. And so throughout the day, I had this chronic pain. It was really hard to sleep at night. When I would try to wrestle, I would constantly get stingers and my arm would just light up and go numb. And I really started seeking some sort of solution when I recognized that there was a solid discrepancy in strength between my left and right arm. My left arm, I could hardly curl a 30 at that point. And I was curling 50s right arm, no problem. And at that point, it was like, okay, hey, something's really, really off. Couldn't sit in class, was uncomfortable anytime I was driving or sitting down. So got an MRI, saw that there was this really bad rupture, needed to be taken out and cleaned. So they take out my disc, they replace it with a artificial disc. It has a polyethylene disc in between two titanium brackets. The one set on the bottom part of my C5, the other set on the top part of my C6. And then they had this little polyethylene disc in between. That was fall of 2015. The surgery got FDA approved in the United States in 2013.
Okay.
It was relatively new surgery.
Yeah.
And was a little bit of a guinea pig coming back. And so as an extra precaution, Coach Joe, he was our assistant coach at the time, Joe Johnston. He's now head assistant at Air Force.
Is that the Joe Johnson from Iowa? Was he originally from Iowa? Okay.
Yep. National finalist for Iowa.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing man. Oh my goodness. An amazing man. I'll get more into him in a second, but he suggested wearing a neck brace. I guess that was something they did regularly at Iowa. And from that point on, that was my
Didn't bother you during wrestling in like a live match?
Oh, it was awful.
I would feel like all restricted and shit.
It was a little restricting breathing wise. It's hotter. And despite popular belief, people grabbed the heck out of that thing. And
I'm sure.
To no fault to them, I would too, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'd see comments. People are like, this is such a gimmick. He's using it for a strategy, blah, blah, blah.
Gimmick. That's stupid.
Yeah, I want to wear this.
Right, exactly. That's so funny, man. So tell me a little bit about Coach Smith, the whole Tiger Style, if you bought into it, and if so, why?
Man, I absolutely bought into it, because if you didn't, you were getting left behind real quick.
Yeah.
Whether it was in the runs or in the workouts or what you were doing on the mat, academically even. It was this identity that you were so proud of and wanted to be a part of. In the wrestling room, you were Tiger Style. Outside the wrestling room, you were Tiger Style. In the grocery store, you were Tiger Style. You know, and to this day, I try to peel back what those little things that Coach Smith was doing to get such a belief in that identity and culture of Tiger Style. And It's had a huge influence on my coaching career. The biggest one, we have the 4 pillars of Tiger Style: compete, believe, one more, and expect to win.
Yep.
It's been 8 years since I was in college wrestling or wrestling at Mizzou.
Yep.
And can chime those off no problem, just because that's how it is with Tiger Style. But
every Mizzou guy that I've spoken to, just like you, boom,
yeah,
right there.
The buy-in's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm talking about Coach Smith, I'd say the biggest thing I credit him for is how he created this identity and this culture, and it has just rang through class after class after class after class. We aren't a team that ever got top recruiting classes. They're starting to do so now, which is extremely exciting. But up until this point, we were just those hard-nosed, hard-working kids.
Blue-collar kids, yeah.
Yep. That I fully credit Tiger Style and Coach Smith's culture to the success they'd had.
Yeah, it really is a lifestyle. You hear that all the time. Oh, it's a lifestyle, but it really, really is. He doesn't just breed champion wrestlers; he breeds champion human beings.
Yeah,
that's what impresses me the most. I tell you, Grant, every Mizzou guy that I've spoken to, and maybe I just have spoken to all the right guys and haven't met an idiot yet, but I'm sure there are some. But every single Mizzou guy just is a good person, man. Just a good person. And they all credit Smith and the Tiger Style. So that's awesome, man. Now, you come out of college, and do you go right into coaching? What happened there right after college? What'd you do?
So career kind of ended rough. After the neck surgery, came back the next year, had a knee surgery, missed that season. So I'd had 3 straight years of not competing.
Wow.
Senior year, finally got to compete for the first time since high school.
That's crazy.
Had a pretty good season. Ended up taking 6th at nationals.
Wow.
I ended up getting 2 medical red shirts. Never wrestled again. I was ranked 2nd in the country the next season. Tore my labrum and rotator cuff.
Yep.
Had a 8-month recovery. The next year was COVID. I got a COVID year, came back, and as I was coming back, ruptured another disc, had to have a second disc replacement in my neck. At that point, it was like, man, it's been 7 years. I wrestled 1 season. At this point, I get it, hanging it up. So I had a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. Mm-hmm. Wanted to get away from wrestling for a while. I took a management job in Florida, actually.
Oh, really? What part?
Tampa.
Okay.
So my office was in St. Pete Beach. I lived in Tampa, and I actually helped out at Tampa Jesuit.
Yeah, with Basil, Coach Basil.
Yep, I wrestled in David Mason.
Yeah, Dave Mason, great guy. He's the head of our Fargo national teams.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Both of those guys were amazing. I mainly worked with the Crook brothers.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember them.
Yeah, Tom Crook. One's at Harvard, one's at Virginia Tech, right?
Virginia Tech, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Both studs. Dad's a stud. Family's awesome. But I was only there for about 4 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be a reason that I didn't know about that, because I'm like Florida wrestling guy. I know everything going on, and I didn't know that you were there.
Yeah, it was a very short stint.
Okay.
Stanford cut their program that season. Rob Cole takes over, and Shane Griffith wins nationals. Yep. They revive the program. They hire Rob Cole. I'd had a good relationship with Rob. He'd recruited me in high school, and then him and Smith, being as close as they are, part of the same coaching tree, coached together. Right. They were in each other's weddings. We just always stayed close. I reached out to him, was like, hey, I want to come be a part of this. I don't care what capacity. I don't care what I can do. I want to come help. And at the time, here, let me pull it up, because he sent me a pretty funny message.
Oh, I love it.
Have you ever talked to Rob Cole?
I talked to him once at I think it was at the national convention one time, but never really sat down and had a good conversation with him.
He's amazing. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
That's what I hear. Brian loves him.
Yeah, he's great. Oh, they couldn't be any different, too. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Love them both to death, but man, they're so different. But I reached out, basically said that, hey, I want to help in any way I can. His response was, Grant, I like your spunk, but you're simply not qualified for the job. I have a friend in the equipment room who might have an opening for someone with such limited resources like yourself. Could be a great start.
Dude, what did you think when you read that?
I don't know.
I would have cried.
I felt stupid is what I felt, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, holy cow. I had no idea what I was getting into.
So what was your response to that?
He called me probably 10 minutes later.
He's
I
I'm
was
just
like,
messing with you.
yeah. He was like, hey, I did fill my coaching roles. Let me bring you out as an RTC athlete. I'll get you an internship
Okay.
in the Bay Area, and we can go from there. And I was like, amazing. Like,
yeah, man.
I quit my job that day, and I drove 44 hours within 2 or 3 days to California.
Wow.
I'd never been before either, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
Showing
I
up.
just came back from California. My wife's best friend lives there. And 3 weeks ago, we were in San Mateo, which is right outside of San Francisco. It's actually where Tom Brady went to high school.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very familiar with San Mateo.
Yeah. So that's where we were there for a week. It was really cool, man. Did the whole Alcatraz tour and everything. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
It's honestly one of my favorite areas in the world.
It's nice, man. It's the weather. Oh my God. You can't get better weather than the San Francisco, San Mateo area.
70, 75 year round.
All year round. Cooler at night. It's perfect, man. Bottle it up. Give it to me. I'll live wherever as long as I have that weather.
As I joke now, I peaked way too early.
So you get to California, 44 hours.
So I started an internship doing logistics for a solar company. I got a bad glare. Are you seeing that, or is that just me?
I could see it. It's not horrible.
I'm just going to scoot over here.
There you go.
So I was doing logistics for the solar company. The president or the CEO of that company was a president for us on our RTC. And after about 2 months, the guy that was supposed to take the third assistant job didn't pass a background check.
Okay.
And at that point, I'd been around. I'd been helping out, with camps, running Little League, doing some recruiting stuff. And Rob just asked if I wanted the position, wanted the opportunity. And so right place, right time.
Oh, yeah.
And jumped into that volunteer assistant role. And it was one of the best years of my life.
Very cool. And sometimes that's all it takes is just the right time, the right situation, and you get lucky and the door opens.
Yeah.
How long did you stay at Stanford?
3 years.
Okay.
Next season, I got promoted to full assistant.
Nice.
And then the next year, as we were entering season, was when Rob transitioned to UNC. I was going to stick around, and the new guy came in, and his first day fired me, and I was like, oh, that stinks.
Yeah, but you got to almost expect that.
Yeah.
New guy brings his own people in. Almost always happens that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but so from Stanford,
Chris Ayers is an amazing. I really like Chris.
Yeah,
he was the right guy for the job. It made me sad, but it is expected 100%.
For sure.
He didn't know me. Him and I had never talked prior to that.
Oh, wow.
So totally understood.
Yep.
That happened in October, which is really late in the game. So I was like, my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know
what do I do?
I'm going to find. Right around that time, the Texas Collegiate Wrestling Foundation, specifically Jim Junta, he's the president of the NCWA.
Okay, I was going to say that name sounds really familiar to me.
Amazing, amazing guy.
Okay.
I'd met him at the National Wrestling Coaches Association convention in Florida.
Yep.
A couple months later, reached out, was like, hey, we're trying to start the first D1 program in Texas. It's a school called Tarleton State. Are you interested? I was like, well, absolutely. Bring wrestling to Texas. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But you want me as the head coach? And he was like, I think we need a young guy that's ready to hustle. And
Did you actually say that, or were you just thinking that?
I was thinking that because I was like, dude, I'm going into my third year of coaching. Are you sure?
Yeah,
I got a lot to learn.
You also have a lot to offer too, and I think they probably saw that.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well,
look at the guys you were around, though. Brian Smith, Rob Cole, good pedigree there.
And I guess they both endorsed me pretty hard prior to that phone call.
I'm sure.
At that point, I flew out, took a visit, saw campus, and was like, oh, man, I could work with this.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be some pretty small, pretty unheard of school in Texas. that was going to make my life heck, but campus is beautiful, good sized school, 18,000 undergrad.
Okay.
And in-state tuition is $7,500 a year.
That's like a JUCO.
Crazy,
That's crazy.
right?
Yes.
And you can get in-state as an out-of-state student year one if you have a 3.0 GPA, 1080 SAT, or top 25% of your graduating class.
Beautiful. That's not that much to ask. That's beautiful.
Well, immediately I started thinking like, man, Edinburgh was third in the country with less resources, smaller school, not as good academically, more expensive.
Right.
They were able to be third in the country. I was like,
yep,
I could do that here with no questions asked.
Why not?
100, and who doesn't want to move to Texas? You know,
Yeah.
I think we've had the most influx of population in the entire country. So,
what part of Texas is Tarleton State?
It's an hour and a half west of Dallas.
Okay.
I like to say it's the last bit of civilization before you hit that West Texas.
Yeah.
Real rancher cowboy country.
Yeah. Big football country out in West Texas, right?
Country.
Yeah.
Yep. But we're cowboy country too. We have the best rodeo team in the country.
Oh, really?
Rodeo team. Yep.
Very cool.
The most college rodeo athletes on the PBR.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very, very proud of our rodeo team.
Yeah, man, I dig it. I love the rodeo. I love watching that. Those bull riders, they get after it, man. Tough guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to work a wrestle and wrangle match where we got the rodeo next door and we're wrestling outside right next to them.
Oh, that's a good idea, man.
In Texas is hot enough. We could do that, late November. So I'm hoping
that's awesome.
We got one of those events coming up pretty soon.
We had a kid in Florida that graduated, I think, 2017. His name was Cullen Telfer. He was a state champ, and then he took third or second. He was a multiple-time state placer. But ever since he was like a little kid, he grew up in the Tampa area. He went to Strawberry Crest, which is in Tampa. Okay. And he wound up going to college on a rodeo scholarship, and he was a bull rider, turned pro. And he's still, I think he's ranked like number 13 or 14th in the world right now.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, the rodeo, that's a big deal, man. They take that shit serious, man.
Especially this area. It's really cool. We got Dickey's Arena 45 minutes away.
Okay.
I think it's probably the nicest rodeo arena in the country. And it's a spectacle. It's really, really fun. Went to my first rodeo when I got down here. So
awesome. So Grant, what are you, like 29, 30 years old?
28.
28. So are you the youngest D1 coach in the country right now?
Well, I'm not D1 yet.
Oh, what is it?
We're NCWA.
Okay. So yeah, talk to me about that, because I was under the impression that was a D1 program right now. So how does that work? Take us through the process.
No. So what we're doing with the Texas Collegiate Wrestling Foundation and Tarleton, we're trying to create a new blueprint and framework to expand and add Division I wrestling, Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO, NAI, whatever it may be. Trying to find ways where we could replicate what we're doing here and add programs across the country.
Okay.
So we're a little bit of a guinea pig project for what we're calling the fast track program. And the whole idea behind it is you have your state foundation. So for us, it's the Texas Collegiate Wrestling Foundation. They did a little bit of fundraising prior to hire me so that they could pay me a salary to come and finish the job, recruit a team, fundraise enough money to support a team, and get the ball rolling before we actually transition. So we have a deal with the school. I fundraise $2 million, recruit a team, build a team. We launch Division I wrestling fully funded right then.
Wow. So
right now we're going to enter our first inaugural season of NCWA.
Okay.
I've got 58 wrestlers coming in, 40 men, 18 women, because we're also starting. It's a men's and women's deal.
Nice. So is that like basically club level type thing?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So you'd be wrestling like University of Central Florida, their club team, and
exactly
all the other club teams all over the country. Okay. I'm with you.
So we start in the NCWA.
Okay.
And it allows all the kids we're bringing in to take a redshirt year. but also compete a full season in the NCAA, have a regional tournament, conference tournament, national tournament, all while redshirting. Then the plan is 2025, we launch D1 and we're off to the races.
That is incredible. So one of the huge things down here in Florida is everybody wants a D1 program. It makes sense, man. I mean, Florida is just growing. Wrestling is just getting huge in Florida, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. And we've got all these great colleges: University of Central Florida, Florida State, University of Miami, University of Florida. There's so many.
Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Gulf Coast. That would be the perfect place. Either UN or UCF. What's that?
I've heard rumblings. They've I've had some people from there reach out about what we're doing and want to kind of implement the same process.
Yep. Florida Gulf Coast over on the West Coast, Fort Myers area. That would be perfect. I would love to see that. So yeah, I mean, if Florida can learn something about it and how to get it going. But you mentioned something about an association or foundation in Texas. What is it called again?
Texas Collegiate Wrestling Foundation.
Okay, now how was that set up? Was that just one guy that loves wrestling that said, hey, let's build this association?
Pretty much. So it was Jim Junta.
Okay, Jim Junta. All right.
Started the foundation and then brought on guys that wanted to bring Division I wrestling to Texas that had the means to help. We have a former high school coach. We have the former Texas USA wrestling guy on there that now owns his own company. We have a big corporate real estate guy on the board. Then we got Jim, who runs the entire NCAA, and then myself. So it's all about you need somebody that's going to, steer the ship, get it going, get things off the ground, and then you just surround yourself with people that want to get behind exactly that cause, bringing Division I wrestling to Florida.
Takes money, man. Takes money.
University of New Orleans saw what we did at Tarleton and actually reached out to us. Now they're going to do the exact same thing and launch a Division I program in 2028.
I love it.
So we're going to get Louisiana their first Division I wrestling. Well, they had LSU way back in the day, but
I remember,
their only Division I wrestling program now. Florida, the Gators had a wrestling program.
Yep.
One of the guys on our board actually wrestled there. So Florida,
UCF had a D1 program. Stetson University had D1 program.
Oh wow.
We had 3 of them, I believe, at one time. Man. University of Florida, University of Central Florida, and Stetson. And in 1986, they were all done. It was hard. And that was the year I graduated high school. I wanted to wrestle at UCF, and it was over. Yep.
Man, they beat good so quick, too.
It's going to happen. It will happen in Florida. It's going to take time, but I really believe that the guys over at Florida Gulf Coast, they want it so bad that I think they're going to pick your brains and work with you guys and make it happen. And I hope that happens, and I'll do my part any way I can. Yeah. But you got a lot of weight on your back, Grant. I mean, you're a young guy, 28 years old. You got to raise a couple of $1 million. You got to bring these kids in. Like, yeah, it's a great opportunity, but that's a lot of pressure for one young guy to handle. Like, how do you deal with all? It's got to be stressful, man.
Well, it's not just me. When I first came down here, I hired Jimmy Overheiser as the associate head coach.
Okay.
He'd been coaching. We coached together at Stanford for a short stint. Then he was at Army West Point, then came down here to help. So I had him. He's amazing at his job. Phenomenal recruiter. Was able to lean on him for a lot of this. And then I also had the board that's been amazing resources for me. They helped get me connected right away as soon as I got down here. So started with a little bit of a network, and then having guys like Brian Smith, Rob Cole to lean on as well. Yes, there's a lot of pressure. It is stressful because there's no blueprint for this. And some days I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do, what I can do, what I should do. But
now, is there a wrestling room there already, mats there, or that's all stuff that needs to be purchased?
So there wasn't. We got a donor. He bought us a $1.5 million, 10,000 square foot facility.
Wow.
Right off campus. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Here, let me show you.
Yeah, please, man.
Can I share on Can I share on this screen
Yeah,
share?
man.
I don't want to give too much away because we're about to have our first.
Give us a little taste.
Oh man, I have to figure out how to allow this to screen share. Is
Oh
it
yeah,
working?
I'm bad. See, if the producer Jordan was on, he'd be able to do it right now with you. I can't. You got the wrong guy for that.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Can you see it?
Nice.
So this is the outside.
Very cool.
Really, really excited. Just got that painted today, actually.
Purple. Wow, Grant, that's really nice.
This is a glimpse. It fits about 4 mats worth of space. Brand new mats, brand new wall mats.
You
custom.
see that? Don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
Wow.
So
that's incredible. Now, who made contact with the donor, the guy that bought this?
That's a good question. I mean, ultimately, I did, but I'd say it was a group effort for sure.
Okay. And how long from the day he said, okay, I'm going to do it, to the day that everything was purchased, how long did that process take?
2 weeks.
Oh my God, that quick, huh?
Yeah, it was really quick. Found this place prior to approaching him about it.
So that building was already up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is just begging for us.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
And so I sent him the link and was like, hey, this could be our home. This could be super special. Like, let's do this thing. And
yeah. So he went out there, took a look, and was he instantly blown away and said, oh yeah, this is it? Or was he like, oh, let me think about it?
Immediate. Yeah.
Now he's a wrestling guy himself?
Yep, he wrestled for Florida, actually.
Okay. What's his name?
His name's Al Rogers.
Okay.
Awesome.
What's Al do? He lives in Texas?
Yeah, he owns his own company. It's called Zenith Roofing. He does.
Yeah, let's give him a plug, man. He deserves it.
Yeah, he does really, really well. He's unbelievable.
Is he nationwide or only roofing in Texas?
I believe just Texas.
Okay. Well, anybody in Texas listening, Zenith Roofing, hit him up.
He's amazing. Incredible guy. Always, anytime we've really needed something or I've been in a pinch, he's stepped up. He's so passionate about wrestling, especially Texas wrestling right now. Florida is his next project. He's an incredible guy. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about him.
He sounds like it. Anybody to step up like that and drop $1.5 million to get a program started, man, you got to love that, man. That's a good dude right there, man. So what are the before I ask you questions about the program, how do you recruit to come to Tarleton State? Like, how do you convince kids to buy into that? Like, why should you go to Tarleton State?
I mean, the big things. Sorry, one sec. I got to cough again.
Yeah.
All that traveling got me.
Yeah, we're going to edit that right out. Don't even worry about it.
Appreciate it.
You're good.
The big things, that cost of attendance, tuition being so cheap. And
that's a huge one.
Being able to get out-of-state kids in state tuition year one, massive. Outside of offering kids the chance to pioneer and be a part of something historic and special and make their mark in a way that other programs can't offer. At Missouri, Ben Askren had to be the first one. And everybody knows Ben Askren. We've got that same kind of promise to offer where, hey, you could be the first Texas Division I national champion, first Division I wrestler, All-American for Texas.
Yep.
First one on this wall that will forever be the first one on this wall. And I think that resonates with a lot of wrestlers. We like being the underdogs. We like doing things because they're hard. We like doing things that people don't think are possible and love stepping up to the challenge. And so that's been a huge recruiting piece for us. But also where we're located is incredible. 45 minutes to an hour outside of Fort Worth, which is awesome, super fun city. You've got concerts all the time. You've got rodeos going on. You've got all kinds of things. And then Dallas Cowboys, again, more financial district.
Right.
Hour and a half away. Austin is 3 hours away. Houston's 4 hours away. So location's great. School's super clean. It's got small town vibes, but It's growing
Love that.
incredibly quick. We're at 18,000 undergrad. We're supposed to hit 30,000 by 2030.
Wow.
And it's
That's
just
serious growth right there.
there's a lot of really cool things going on at the school. So tons of different sales pitches going on.
Yeah, I bet.
But I do try to make sure we're incredibly transparent about what's happening, the process,
Mm-hmm.
potential futures, what we want to have happen, our vision, the ultimate goal for the program, but also, hey, just so you know, can't control everything.
Right.
If things go sideways, I want to make sure that you're taken care of. If you make this leap of faith and come wrestle for our program, I'll find you a new home if things don't work out. So
Yep.
I think all of those things culminated. We've been able to have a pretty dang good recruiting class.
Nice.
We got about 6 Division I transfers.
Oh, wow.
On top of about 6 to 8 kids that had Division I scholarship offers elsewhere. But it was cheaper to come to us on no money.
Yeah.
We don't have scholarships yet. We don't have a recruiting budget. So, man,
I was going to ask you, what kind of kids does Coach Leeth target? Who are you looking for?
Kids that love the sport. That I don't. Everybody wants to win, so I don't really care about that. I want to find somebody that loves the game, that loses and has no problems wrestling through a backside because they want to learn. Right now, I need kids that are tough, that aren't going to have everything handed to them, that aren't going to be pampered throughout their college career.
Right.
They're going to have some struggles and face some adversity with what we're doing.
No room for prima donnas.
Yeah, and again, I'm very upfront in that sales pitch because I don't want to have a ton of turnover and attrition. I want to make sure these kids that come, they stay, and they help me build this thing. So tapping into those kind of kids, it's a little different because recruiting for Stanford, there was a very niche, small group, small population of kids we could recruit. Now I've got pretty much free reign to recruit whoever, but I'm still kind of fine-tuning that. We'll see how this first season goes.
Okay.
As far as what we were looking for and kind of the KPIs of our kids. But yeah, as the years goes on, I'll continue to fine-tune and adjust some things. But for where we're at and what we had, I'm very, very pleased with kids coming in.
The D1 transfers, you don't have to name them, but what schools were they coming from?
ASU, Queens, and Lindenwood.
Queens was D1?
Yeah.
I didn't know Lindenwood was D1 either.
Just transitioned as they got cut.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Yeah. I know
that head coach really, really well.
Yeah, we got a couple of guys from Florida that did well at Lindenwood. I think won some national titles actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Was it?
So last year they were on their last year of that transition period. So the very next this coming year would have been their first postseason eligible Division I year, and they cut them.
Wow, it's crazy, man.
Oh, it's
crazy. Do you have a women's coach yet, or not yet?
Mm-mm.
Are they going to hire a women's coach?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the process of doing so right now. I've got an assistant coach that's coming in. His name's Dalton Brady. He was a 4-time state champ in Arizona, started his career at Utah Valley, ended up transferring to Arizona State. His senior year was top 15 in the country at 133 pounds, but unfortunately got hurt and missed the rest of the season. But very hungry, loves coaching, loves wrestling. Kind of similar story, injury-riddled career, so he's still got a ton of hunger and fire for the sport. Feels like he had a lot left out on the mat. So perfect fit for what we're doing. Awesome guy. I've never met him before. We've only had phone calls, but he's moving in 2 days. So really excited to have him on board. And then right now I'm vetting for a new assistant coach.
Okay.
Yep.
The guy that you said you hired as your assistant, you said he's really good at recruiting. Yeah. Are you doing any of the recruiting? Are you making trips or is that just him?
Honestly, we're not really making trips at the moment. Home visits.
Everything's right over the phone?
Unless it's local.
Okay.
It's all phone calls.
Yeah.
We bring them out to campus. That's when I get involved.
Okay.
I take them on the campus tours. and then I'll call the parents, and our major recruits I'll give a phone call to, but for the most part, no.
Okay.
That's all him. I lost him because of it.
Yeah.
He's going to go coach at Drexel University.
Oh.
But it's how it goes. He's amazing. He was a huge asset for us. And unfortunately, I had suggested to Coach Azevedo that Jimmy was great a year ago. And then I ended up hiring him. Now here we are a year later, and he's taking him from me. So.
Oh man, so many things can change at the drop of a hat, man.
Yeah.
It really is a business, man.
Oh,
right?
it's a business. Yeah, big
It
time.
is, right? Yeah.
That's go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, being that it is a business, and as a young guy in a new business, so to speak, I mean, you're not new to wrestling, but to the whole coaching thing.
Yeah.
How much do you lean on Coach Smith and Cole right now?
Funny enough, not a ton.
Okay.
I've only had to bug him about a few things. I'd say Rob, I call more so.
Yeah.
Coach Smith is so good at the culture piece and the leadership piece. Rob's really good at the fundraising piece and networking piece.
Oh yeah, that's important right now.
Yeah. So most of the time I'm calling Rob, if anybody. We talk probably bi-weekly. Coach Smith I probably talk to once a month.
Very cool.
I mean, I was around them so much that at this point I don't need them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But everything I am doing is definitely drawn from those two.
Yeah. Not a bad two guys to draw from, that's for sure, man. Listen, dude, if you can be a fraction as successful as those two guys are, you'd be a happy guy, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Of course.
Well, to be honest, no, but yeah.
You always want to be better.
Exactly.
Is there a chance that it doesn't go D1, but they say, hey, we'll give you D3? Like, how does that work? What determines what division you'll be?
I believe because we're NCAA Division I.
Oh, so you're D1 in all the other sports right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brand new this year. We started our transition in 2019. We had a 4-year probation period where they couldn't compete in postseason athletics. But this fall is our first official year of Division I athletics.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how that worked because it's a little confusing to me because I know Franklin and Marshall in Pennsylvania, they're D3 in every other sport but wrestling. Wrestling, they're Division I. Yeah, I don't understand how all that works.
To be honest with you, I don't either. Yeah, I'm not sure. But
I guess I don't have to. I'm not coaching there.
I don't think we could launch as anything other than Division I once we go varsity status. So
yeah. So again, just to kind of reiterate, in order for this to go D1 and everything go through, you got to raise $2 million, right? Yep. And how close are you to? Did you just get started, or has it been going for a while?
No, so I started last November. So I've been here almost a year. It's been what's that, 9 months? We're very close.
Awesome. But not to mention, you got the 1.5 million building. That doesn't count for the 2 million, right?
It may.
Oh,
we're working on that.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, we've got a budget and kind of spreadsheet created of the value we're bringing versus what we've cost, which is 0.
So it's going to happen.
In tuition numbers alone, with 58 students coming in, paying in-state tuition, we brought in $1.82 million. We've got $1.5 million facility. Plus, I don't want to say the number because I use numbers depending who I'm talking to get some money.
Yeah.
We're close.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that, man. So what's the culture going to be at Tarleton State University?
That's a good question. The big thing is, again, reiterating, loving the sport.
Yeah.
I want the focus not to be on winning. I want the focus to be on enjoying what you're doing and getting better.
Right.
Loving the process piece of wrestling. And it's nothing new. Penn State has been preaching this. You hear their interviews with their kids, but they're winning. They're having immense amounts of success. And I want to replicate that as best as I can. I'm not here to invent the wheel. Right. Cale Sanderson is obviously a brilliant coach, knows what he's doing. And so I want to have a very similar culture in the sense of we're not focused on winning. We're not focused on results. We're focused on the day-to-day love of the game and the process to
Right.
get us the results.
Yep.
We're not going to run. We're a wrestling team. We're not a running team.
Mhm.
So I don't want to waste calories and energy and risk injury doing anything other than wrestling.
That alone will get you some kids.
Yeah. I'll use that in my recruiting pitch as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And my biggest coaching philosophy is leaning into individuals. We're built differently. Our minds work differently.
Yeah.
We have different identities in the sport.
Yep.
For me, I love the hand fight and physicality of wrestling. Other guys love the technical piece. Other guys love being a gas tank guy.
Right.
And so leaning into those individual aspects of each wrestler and giving them freedom to develop their style and what works for them. I like to show positions and principles, but I don't want to show you every single detail of a position. I want you to figure out those details that work for you. But culture-wise, I want it to be about loving the game, working hard, and being, convicted in what we're doing and what I'm doing and what you're doing, and just having 100% conviction in our culture and style and training. That's going to be my main focus this season.
Now, I'm sure that you have a lot of similarities with Coach Smith because, you were around him for a long time. So it's got to be that way, I'm sure. But if you had to point out some things that you think would be completely different than Coach Smith, what would you say those things are?
The running.
The run. Oh, is he a running guy? He loves running, huh?
Yeah.
Smitty.
Yeah.
He was like that in high school too. That son of a bitch would run everywhere, bro.
And I don't know if he's right or wrong. I'm just on this side of it now as a coach after going through it, having all the injuries, probably plays a part. So I'm not saying Coach Smith is wrong by any means. We're just going to do it a little different.
Of course.
We ran a lot.
Yeah.
We ran a lot. Mondays were 3 milers. Ooh. Wednesday was a stadium run, and Friday was a 7 mile.
Yeah, so I couldn't handle that shit.
It's a lot of miles on the body, and I'd rather spend that on the mat and make sure kids are loving what they're doing because I hated the running.
Yeah.
I'm 5'5".
Yeah. I'm 5'6", dude. I'm not a track star, man. I wrestled for a reason.
Exactly.
I sucked in basketball. I was too small for football, and I hated track, so I started wrestling.
Yeah.
Man, that's an unbelievable thing you got going on, man. And I'm so happy to see another D1 program. It's going to happen, but popping up real soon. And anything you need, man, on my end, listen, man, I'm just a guy that runs a website and does a show. But I do know a lot of people and have a lot of connections
right now.
What's that?
I said, that's the name of my game right now. The first question I always ask is, who do you know that can help me?
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with asking. I tell people all the time, man, it's all about making the relationships, making the connections, and just helping other people.
Yep.
Me and the producer, Jordan, he actually taught me this. He's just a couple of years older than you. I'm 56. I have a son your age, but he taught me this as a younger guy. He actually taught me, a 56-year-old, that, reaching out to help others it's going to help you in the long run. So I've been big recently on, reaching out to other people. Hey man, what can I do for you, man? Forget about the website, forget about the show. What do you need from me? How can I help you?
Yeah.
And first of all, it makes you feel amazing. Number one, because you're doing something to give back. But number two, man, you get to see just how appreciative people are. So when I tell you, if there's anything that I can do, you have my number, reach out. I really do mean that.
Man,
so,
that.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, people, this is Grant Leeth, the new head coach at soon to be Division I, Tarleton State University. What's your mascot?
Texan Riders.
The Texan Riders. The colors are amazing. I love purple, man.
Me
Purple's
too.
It's my favorite color. I grew up right by West Point in upstate New York.
Okay.
And the town, Monroe Woodbury High School, even our wrestling club, the colors are purple and white.
Nice.
And, man, I love purple. So I'm already a Tarleton State fan just for your colors, man.
That's
And
good.
I definitely, when you guys start getting T-shirts made up, let me know how I can get one. I will definitely purchase one, man, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
Are you
Grant,
wrapping up? Because I got one more thing for you.
oh, I love it. Go ahead.
It's not really wrestling related, though.
It's okay. Talk to me.
So before I left Stanford, I started a
shoe company.
Yeah, you know about it?
You know what? I have it written down. You designed a shoe, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you that and I forgot. So thank you for bringing that up. Talk to me about that. That's awesome.
Who told you about that?
I just looked it up. I Googled you. I was doing research and I saw the actual prototype of the shoe. It was awesome.
So here's the first. I've been wearing this one for a month, so it's a little beat up, but it's a pretty business casual dress shoe.
For sure.
This is very first sample, so it's pretty rough.
What made you go into that? So, like, what happened where you're like, I got to have this type of shoe?
Traveling all the time. We'd dress for success. Yep. So we'd wear nice suits or ties and a dress shirt and dress shoes. And I bought what I thought was supposed to be the comfortable dress shoe, the nice dress shoe. It's called a Cole Haan Lunar Grand. Okay. What they did, they put a Nike sole on a dress shoe. Yeah. And they were fine, especially compared to other dress shoes, but they were still. And at the end of the day, I always wanted to take them off. Couldn't stand wearing the dress shoe. And, with all my injuries, I've always been very interested in recovery and regenerative type stuff. And what are small little things you could do to stay as healthy as possible. And I mentioned this idea for a recovery focused dress shoe to one of my wrestlers. And this was at Stanford. And he was like, well, my dad's been in shoe manufacturing for 30 years. Wow. I was like, okay. So I met with him, pitched him the idea. He loved it. He pitched it to the factory. They loved it. And they were like, start creating his design, business plan. We'll reconvene. We might get behind this. I was like, okay. The time our team was working with this doctor, his name's Doug Hugendijk. He's a sports medicine professional, 33 years at University of Southern California, USC Trojans. Started his own practice in the Bay Area. So we were sending our wrestlers there for any ankles, knees, or hips issues. He has this $1 million treadmill that measures the pressure of your feet and every point of it, measures your stride. And based on the reading of you on the treadmill, he could diagnose any issue going on. Wow. So I had him create the shape of our outsole that was to promote a healthier posture, healthier stride, walking stance. And then from there, came back, met with the factory and my business partner, which was my wrestler's dad. And we ended up here. We've got it's a brand new foam. It's called TTE. Will probably be the third or fourth shoe on the market to ever use it. Okay. Extremely comfortable. It's very similar to Ultra Boost, if you've ever worn those.
Oh, I haven't, but I've heard of them.
The other big things in our interior, most dress shoes, your ankle's going to be rubbing directly against the leather. Yep. We added a running shoe type foam buffer on the inside. I textured it like the inside of a Bentley because I want it to look really nice. It's got this quilted pattern, but throughout the interior of the shoe, there's copper threading. Copper is an antimicrobial, but it also promotes blood flow and temperature regulation. So your feet aren't going to get hot and exhausted throughout the day. And then the insole is this new Zoom technology. This also has copper threading throughout it, but an extremely bouncy, comfortable insole.
Yeah, looks very soft.
And man, I'm going to be honest. I've worn these every day. Well, it's the only shoe I wear anymore because I got to promote it. But man, I genuinely love them.
Are they available to purchase? Are they on the market yet?
Not yet. So this was our very first wear test sample. This is our second one.
That's awesome. Brand new. It does look nice, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm an honest guy. I would tell you, I don't know if I would wear that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I would definitely wear that.
I appreciate that. We're still in testing phase, but I'm hoping we launch by spring. So
nice. Is what's the name of? Do you have a name of the company yet, or?
Yeah, it's called Heilung.
Okay.
Which means healing in German. Honestly, that's about it. It means
I
which
love it.
that's our whole focus, is recovery. And it's
Yeah.
the target audience is health conscious professionals or
Okay.
active professionals.
All
So
right.
guys that wake up in the morning, go to the gym, and then go to work,
Plenty of
or
them.
guys that work on their feet all day, whether
Right.
door-to-door sales or on the
Yep.
floor doing finance, whatever it may be. So
Man, that shoe would be awesome for like car dealership salesmen. Man, they're on their feet all day long, bro.
and
And it
dress
looks
really
nice.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be, I think that would be the market that would really benefit anybody on their feet all day long.
I'm
Nurses, doctors, whatever the case may
I'm
be.
working on getting licensing to be a DME,
Okay.
which means like chiropractors and doctors could prescribe my shoe. The insurance would cover it, and we'd make sales through that as well. So
Well, it
there's a
just
lot of
so happens, Coach,
yeah,
that my wife Lori runs she's a nurse and
yeah,
she manages 3 orthopedic surgery outpatient surgery centers,
beautiful.
and she refers people for all different kinds of medical equipment and supplies to help them recover after their surgeries.
Yeah,
They do neck, back. It's called Advanced Orthopedic and Spine Surgery Centers. And she's been there for like 15, 16 years. So when all this starts happening, please let me know. You and Lori can talk, and I'm sure she can help you out on that end of it.
that'd be amazing. I
Of
appreciate it.
course, man.
And this is why I always talk about it.
Yeah, you never know, man.
You
You
never
never
know.
know.
You never
Exactly.
know. The DME idea and getting this as a medical product that could be prescribed came from doing a coaching conference. And
Yeah.
at the end of my coaching conference, I had a slide dedicated to the shoe. It was like, hey, you're all coaches. You could wear this.
Yeah.
Guy came up to me after, was like, hey, actually, it's like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Now, so that's the first one, but I'm sure you're going to have it available in different colors, right?
Yeah, dark brown, light brown, that one's the light brown.
Yeah.
Dark brown, black, and white to start.
Perfect.
And then as money comes in and we're able to reinvest into the company,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do a spring line, a winter line, and then we'll start transitioning to more casual shoes with the same outsole, recovery focused as well.
Yep.
And then eventually a full clothing line with, oh my goodness, what's the word? I literally had just said it. Business casual. Jeez Louise.
Business casual.
Business casual clothing line as well. So
That's cool, man. Man, I wish you the best. You got a lot of stuff going on, kid. A lot of stuff. But it's all good stuff, man.
well,
All good stuff, man. Now, you're in Texas now, correct?
Yep.
Your whole family's back where? Missouri?
Missouri. Yep.
Do you have any family down here in Texas with you?
Mm-mm.
Wow, man. How's that work? How's that? Are you like a homesick type of guy, or you're good with it?
No, I've been pretty nomad
Yeah.
for a while. I will say change is always hard,
Yeah.
whether it's job, location, whatever it may be. Change is really tough, especially when you don't know anybody. So for those first few months, I was in a pretty dark spot. I didn't have a team, had just got fired from my job, was taking this new job on that was really scary, and didn't really know anybody, but I'm a very faith-based person, and I knew just continuing to pray, lean on my church community, lean on my family, and things would take care of itself. And now I've got a girlfriend down here. I've got a great friend group.
There you go. That was my next question. If you're married or have a girl.
Yeah, got a girlfriend. So
good man. Good man. That's awesome, man. So now, as far as your assistant coaching position, have you put out like an advertisement that you guys are hiring? First of all, for those athletes that may want to consider coming to Tarleton State University, how do they get a hold of you? And for those coaches that might consider wanting to coach with you, how do they get a hold of you?
tsuwrestling.org. We have our recruiting questionnaire. For the coaches on the same website, I've got a message, contact me type box at the bottom of the website. Also any social media outlet.
Okay. What's
Twitter
the IG?
emojis. G
Do you have-
baby.
Oh, G Baby. I saw that. I saw that. Man, one of my kids' favorite movies was Hardball, man.
Hardball. Yeah.
Oh, dude. G Baby was the best, man.
So I got that because I was the small freshman on the
Yeah.
varsity team, and my name's
Yep.
Grant.
Yep.
But the guy that gave it to me, I initially didn't make it like my identity, but the guy that gave it to me passed away after his senior year.
Oh, man.
So really young. And to pay homage to him, homage, whatever,
Yep.
all my social media became G Baby.
Love it.
And I haven't changed it. I probably won't. I know I should.
Why? I say stick with G Baby, man.
Well, I had a former coach reach out and tell me, in this role, I probably should have a more professional, but
Probably right, but for now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Man, Grant, you got a lot going on. You got a lot on your shoulders, but it looks like you're handling it pretty well. Things are going good. That's good to hear. Again, anything you need, let me know. Once that whole shoe thing, happens, call me and I'll put you in contact with Lori and you guys can discuss whatever you guys need to talk about. All right.
I appreciate that a ton. And thank you so much for having me. It means.
Oh man, no, thank you. It was my pleasure, man. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. We had to reschedule a few times. You're sick tonight. I told Jordan, the producer, I go, man, if this son of a bitch cancels on me again, he's done. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it would have been fair. I was driving back from Kentucky from getting these bourbon bottles and just, it was a nightmare.
I'm sure it was. I understand all that. You're fine. So yeah, definitely keep in touch. You got my name. You got my number. If you ever come to Florida, hit me up. We'll go check out Dante, make him take us fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have a great rest of your night, man. I appreciate you being on the show.
Likewise. Take care.
All right. Hey guys, Ricky Cheese here. Thanks for listening to the show. Remember, you can watch Grinding for Greatness on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the GFG YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment on your favorite episode and who you'd like to see next on the show. I'll see y'all soon on the next episode of Grinding for Greatness.